Hey everybody, it's Dr. Joe, and today's video about relieving chronic pain is sponsored by Quasar MD LED Full Body Therapy. It can help with chronic pain as well as other things. If you're interested in checking it out, click on the link up there. So let's get started. Chronic pain is really a general term. A lot of times it means kind of whole body pain. Sometimes people refer it to fibromyalgia, but that's a little bit more specific. This is just if you're having some chronic pain. It can be to a specific area or, like I said, the whole body. So these exercises and stretches are just going to be lying down, super gentle to just kind of get you started, because a lot of times with chronic pain, you have to find that happy middle ground for you, and it's different for everyone, where you're doing some things, but you're not doing so much where you're just going to flare everything up. So let's go ahead and lie down and just start off with some really gentle ones. And if you find these to be easy, I do have some other videos where we progress stuff. So the first one is kind of an exercise and a stretch together. If you watch any of my videos, pelvic tilts are some of my favorites, just because it kind of works the core, works your hamstrings, works your glutes, and it really helps relax the body and the pelvic floor in general. So all a pelvic tilt is just kind of how it sounds. You're tilting your pelvis. This one is going to be a posterior pelvic tilt. So just propping up your feet, knees are about hip width apart. And with this, the important part is you're not using your feet. So you're not kind of pushing up like you're going into a bridge. We'll get to that at the end. But you're just rotating everything back. You're using those core muscles to kind of flatten out your back. So if you're not quite sure if you're doing it, sometimes you can place your hand underneath and you're just kind of squishing it. That's all you're trying to do. But you're not holding your breath and straining those muscles. I'm talking through while I'm doing it. But everything is just kind of rotating back posteriorly a little bit. You can just hold it starting off maybe 3 to 5 seconds and then relax and do a few of those. If you want to try and hold it longer, you can. But again, just that nice, gentle, I'm flattening out my back. Some people will say, imagine that you're pushing your belly button into, the floor, the bed, or the couch. And again, just a little hold. You can progress that if you want to, but it doesn't have to be a whole lot. You can maybe just start off with 5 or so, whatever is comfortable for you. Again, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, because with chronic pain, some people can do it a lot, some people can do a little bit. So it's always better to start off with a little bit and then progress your way up. So the next one is just going to be a knee to chest stretch. And again, that's just what it is. It's named how you do the movement. So I'm bringing my knee up towards my chest. I like to keep both legs propped up and the other side propped up while I'm doing it, but some people will slide it down, and then you'll get a little bit of a stretch in your hip flexors on the other side. But when you're first starting out, this kind of helps support the back a little bit. So all I'm doing is just bringing my knee towards my chest with my hands. Now, if you have some knee issues, putting it on top might be a little bit uncomfortable, so you can put it underneath. If you hear a little scratching around down there, the pups are hanging out, making sure I'm doing everything correctly. So if you've got that little bit of knee pain in there, holding underneath is a little bit better. And you want to bring the knee straight up. Some people will kind of bring it out to the side because they'll feel like a little pinch in there sometimes, but just don't pull it up quite as hard, because you want to keep it in that motion. So you're just bringing it up towards your chest to a comfortable area, and this is a full stretch, so you want to hold it for 30 seconds. Just trying to relax your body, and then if you feel like after you're going in a little bit, you can pull it a little bit closer, that's great. And then nice and slow coming back down. If you want to then try on top of the knee and see, sometimes people say they can get a little bit more of a pull doing it this way. But again, if that's uncomfortable for you, you can go underneath. And again, if you want to get a little bit of hip flexor stretch on this side while you're stretching the back with that knee to chest stretch, you can slide it down. And so now I'm feeling a little bit of a stretch up here, and then on the other side, a little bit of a stretch in my back area. And then you're stretching your knee and everything as well. So it's nice, kind of a combination stretch. So holding for 30 seconds, 3 times on each side. So then the next one is just going to be a trunk rotation. This one we're going to do as a stretch, but you can do it as an exercise if you want to. So now you're going to slide your knees and your feet together, and then you're just gently going to rotate over to one side, and you should feel a nice stretch up through here on the side, sometimes all the way up kind of into the armpit area, the lats area on that side, and just go as comfortably as you can. You know, I'm going pretty much all the way over, but you might not be able to go that far. You might have to stop right here, and that's fine. And if you can't really hold it there, you can put a pillow, or if you have a yoga block or something, so you can rest it on there and get that stretch. But eventually you want to let it stretch over just a little bit more. So same thing, full 30-second stretch, come back up, give yourself a little bit of a break in between, and then rotate to the other side. So I'm really feeling that stretch right through all the way up in here and down. And so again, that 30 seconds, come back up, relax, and do that 3 times on each side. Then the next one is just going to be a little bit of a progression. So now we're going to go into bridging. So that's what I was kind of talking about at the beginning. This is then kind of the next step of that pelvic tilt. So going back into that position where your knees are bent about hip width apart, and now you're just going to kind of roll your back up, bringing your hips up. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, this isn't good for my back because I'm going into extension. You're not really going into extension, because when you come up, you're just coming into a straight line. So it's not an extension movement. But with that said, only come up as high as you're comfortable. So if you can only kind of lift your bottom up off of whatever you're lying down on, that's fine. But eventually with the bridge, you want to be able to come all the way up into that pretty much straight line, and then nice and slow, kind of almost imagine that you're rolling one segment of a time at a time of your back, and then just rolling up, and then nice and slow rolling back down. So same thing with this, you can do it you know, maybe just 5 or 10 times. You can do it 4 times, like see how many I can comfortably do in 30 seconds. But again, starting off with a little bit, and then if you're feeling okay the next day or so, then you can add more reps onto it. But don't go so much where you're just going to flare everything up. And then this one is going to be, it's like a butterfly stretch when you're sitting up, but this is kind of modified because you're lying down in that supine position. So it's usually not quite as stressful on the stretch. But all you're going to do is now bring everything back together. So bring your feet together, bring your knees together, and then just roll your knees outwards. And so this kind of gets the stretch on the inner thighs right there, the groin area. That also helps with the pelvis and the back to get those stretched out. But again, if stretching all the way out this way is a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can have some pillows or some yoga blocks, and so then you're not going down quite as far, but then you can still relax. So again, this one's a full stretch, so go to what you comfortably can, hold it for 30 seconds, come back up, give yourself about a 10 or 15 second rest, and then come back down, and then doing that 3 times. So again, these are just some ones to kind of start off with. If you like real-time videos, I have a bunch of those. I even have a playlist, so you can check out my channel for that. But this is just kind of showing you getting started lying down, because again, with chronic pain, it's different for everybody, so it's always best to start off with a little bit and see how you do first. So there you have it. That was ways to relieve chronic pain. If you're interested in purchasing the Quasar MD LED Full Body Therapy, click on the link up there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.